Hello, welcome to Alive. We are inside the Radiantly Alive Woman Facebook group. I am always so happy to do lives here. We go live twice a week inside this group, inside this community of growing, thriving women. We have, at the time of this recording, over 500 women in this group. So thank you so much for being here. As you come into this live, if you want to just let me know that you're here and give me a hashtag live or just a hello, and we can get started on this new announcement. I want to share something really special with you. It's something that I've been planning for the past few weeks, and I didn't share it because I was in the middle of a masterclass with all of you, and now I want to share it. So just a quick thank you for everyone who attended the masterclass and soaked up all of that wisdom and educational juice. There was a lot in there, and it was so nice to spend that kind of like concentrated time together. It was really lovely. One of my favorite parts was the fact that we all kind of grabbed each other around the shoulder and gave each other like a sweet, supportive, warming hug. So thank you to everyone who was there for making that happen. That was not done by me, that was done by all of you, kind of as a community. So thank you again. Hey gal, nice to see you here on this live. So like I said, I want to share something really exciting. I've been cooking it up, and it's going to be something that we can all participate in and that we can all benefit from. So what is it? What am I talking about? I am going to begin a series, and we're going to do this once a week in our lives, and then I'll go live on another topic once a week. We're going to go into detail about scars, and I'll tell you what that means. So women have scars, very likely have scars on their body somewhere. And there's not a lot, or I was going to say not at all, much education around what these scars mean for the impact on our physical body, our energy, our emotion. And this is a big problem, and one of the things that I want to address directly, because when we have the education and the wisdom around what these scars are potentially doing to our body, we can start to work towards resolving that completely. And like I said, nobody really knows about this, and it's a problem. Women are, around all over the place thinking stuff like, this is just how I am now. I am this way because all the excuses. I'm old. I have had a C-section. I have had a surgery. I have had this happen to me. And whether you've been told that by someone or you feel that yourself, I just want to bring it out that there's answers. And that's what I want to offer this community, that there are really clear answers and a very smooth path of progression away from those things that you feel like you're stuck on. They do not need to be who you are or part of your daily life. And scar tissue work may be your answer. So, like I said, women are more commonly have scars on their body, most commonly along their torso, and I'll explain some of the most common ones. Women are most likely to have scars around their thyroid problems, thyroid cancers, hypothyroidism. All this stuff is much more common in women, and therefore there's a lot of women with scars along their neck. And there's things that you want to know about related to that scar, not only like the information regarding how it could be impacting your body and your energy and your emotion, but how to start working on that, how to start resolving that fully and completely. Another area that women commonly have scars is around our breast tissue. It could be from, so many things. It could be from breast reconstruction, breast augmentation. It could be from biopsies, all of the things. It could be from an accident or another type of surgery. And it could be, at the breast tissue itself or kind of in the armpit, just kind of around this whole chest area, high incidence of scars for women. The other area, of course, we cannot forget it, it probably is the most common, is in the low abdomen and pelvic floor. Again, this could be from a surgery like a C-section. any type of hysterectomy, like any kind of organ removal, investigative things. It can also be from birth vaginally. You could have had episiotomies and have scarring in there. So I also want to include IVF treatment into the low abdomen. A lot of puncture wounds go into that area during that phase of a woman's life if she's struggling with her fertility. So of course, women can have scars all over their body. We can get them anywhere, just like Amanda's. But there is so much healing potential found within the scar itself that we don't know about, we don't have education about, and it doesn't necessarily, we don't need to blame anyone or say like, I never got this when I left the surgery room, even though that's very likely the case. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's about taking responsibility for your own health, taking the reins of your own health and seeing your health holistically from a different vantage point, from an integrated perspective. So my background is in kind of clinical practice. I have over nearly a decade of clinical practice and over a decade in the health and fitness industry. So I come from that background. I come from that kind of logical, intellectual, brainy place. But through working with people over time and through my own health journey, my own health struggle, I realized that this is not the be-all end-all. It needs to be supported with another thought process, other philosophies, other types of practices. And the other kind of piece that I'm talking about is Eastern tradition, philosophy, practice. The Eastern medicine part is so big. We need both, and I am kind of the best combination of the two. I have just drilled in the Western science, and that's how I started out, like I said, as a clinical therapist. I take all of that with me, where we learn about anatomy, we learn about the circulatory system, the nervous system, the endocrine system, all the systems, the musculoskeletal, everything's connected, and I help us to understand that from the vantage point of a type of traditional medicine that's been around for thousands and thousands of years. If a medicine has been around for thousands and thousands of years, they're doing something right. They're probably doing a lot right. And we want to lean into that as well and know that one thing in isolation may not be sufficient, but when we can pulse in and out of both, that's where the magic happens. So I am really excited to bring this little mini series together, and we're going to talk about all different types of scars. Now, how is it that you're going to start to participate in this? I'm going to start a thread after this video, and I'm going to post it into the announcement so you can easily access and find it. And I want you to think about all the women in your life. There's a lot. You're like all of the women, mothers, aunts, daughters, sisters, colleagues, work friends, people that close friends, whatever your community of women are. I can go on and on and on. I want you to think about them. Think about the little snippets that they've given you, little doorway or gateways into their life, about how they're feeling. And also remember if any of them have scars on their body. And I want you to, on this thread, write down a scar that you're particularly interested in knowing more about. Knowing more about how it can weigh down on our energy. Know more about how it's affecting the thing in the area. Maybe there's an organ in the area. Maybe there's many. Maybe there's different types of tissue in the area. I am like a super geek in all of this, and so we'll go into that. And then we want to know about the energy component, how it's dragging down on energetic channels, how all of this can be impacting how you show up in the world, how you are motivated or inspired or not. And so I'm going to go into the pulse in and out of the kind of academic Western model, the modern science, medicine side, and then the traditional Eastern philosophy, practice, medicine side. And we're going to learn about these scars. If they're not on the midline, as you may know, I'm a big advocate of working on all scars that are on the midline. Whether it's been a scar on your head, like you smashed your face on a coffee table when you were little, which so many of us have, which are a huge deal, by the way. Anything on the midline, but also other stuff. Like say you have a surgery that you had and you had a shoulder surgery. Shoulder surgeries are really common. You can, damage your rotator cuff. You can damage your AC. I am, like I said, academically trained in all of this. So I am kind of just this resource that I want you to start tapping into and asking me questions about. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining me live. And so on this thread, write a scar. You can write 10 scars if you want. And I'm going to be giving you little snippets of like 15 or so minute lives dedicated to that one scar. And it's going to be potentially personal. If there's a story attached to the scar, if you want to share that on the thread, that would help me even cater to you more directly, give you a more full kind of holistic, integrated thought and plan approach to that scar. So wherever you have the scar, you stepped on a piece of glass on your foot, and now you have plantar fasciitis and you have all this foot stuff and you keep rolling your ankle and you're wondering why. It could be because of the scar. When we get clarity on our situation, when we understand ourselves really well, then we can start to move forward. When there's a lot of overwhelm, a lot of confusion, when there's just a lot of stuff and we don't quite know how to begin or our angle of entry, then we can stay like that. And over time, that creates stuckness, it creates stagnation, it creates rigid thinking, it does a whole lot of stuff that we don't want in our lives. We want to know that we can push through stuff. And the more that we give ourselves that opportunity by clarification, by going deep into our own history, by acknowledging scars, they are, like I'm talking about, mostly in a physical form. But as we all know, there's scars emotionally and energetically in our body, somewhere in our body. It could be because of a particular event or incident. Maybe there's physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse. That can lay a scar inside of our body that we want to address. It could be something like a divorce or, any kind of dynamic, like personal interrelationship dynamics. It could be all of those things that create this heavy burden on our body, on our physical body, on our energy, on our emotion. And I want to give this opportunity to you to just write a single phrase or go in depth, and I'm going to address that in a live. We're going to do this until all the scars are covered. I'm going to be as diligent as I can, plus bring up scars that I think are of incredible importance that we may be, not clued into why they are important. So if anyone has any questions about this topic, please let me know. You can ask it now during the live, or if you're watching a replay, you're hashtag replaying right now, feel free to ask questions on this video itself so that I can clarify more and be more clear. But after this video, I'm going to start a thread that is going to be, ask me a question about a scar. You're going to write down the area that you have a scar or any other woman that you know, and we're going to do a live on it. And we're going to get more clear on it. And we're going to start to learn how to approach it. We're going to develop a process around how we can start to lean into those areas. Obviously, so you would benefit, and the women that you know would benefit from being inside this group to receive the live. So like I said, think of all the women in your life. Start to just connect those dots. Think of oh yeah, I think that this friend has a scar because she really hurt her knee and she really is not so good with walking right now. She would benefit from this. I should invite her into this group. Please do, and write the scar down on the thread. Like I said, I'm going to be going through them one after another, once a week, maybe twice a week if this really kicks off, but I'll be going through it once a week, a live 50-minute segments on a particular scar. So you have a place of entry, you have a beginning point, and you can really start to understand the importance of scars. Really start to palpably, viscerally know that these scars may be the answer that you've been looking for. And when you start to get that clarification, when things start to open up and you're like, oh man, there's something to this, I'm going to give you a direction. I'm going to give you a thought process to start working on that scar. All right, so I don't see any questions here. I think that I was, as you probably all know now, I'm a very thorough, always striving for being clear as I speak. So I don't see any questions here. Thorough woman, very clear speaker is good to go for the moment. If a question does arise, just send it in this as a live, as a replay, and then I'm gonna start the thread. So I'm really looking forward to this. I am so excited. I hope that you're sharing in my excitement as well. And I look forward to seeing all of your comments and all of the areas of your body, of your mind, of your energy that you're interested in, because I'm gonna be knocking them off the list one by one in these live segments. So thank you so much for joining me live, and I look forward to seeing you soon.